She came to my room every night. Now this alien beauty says I'm her mate. It wasn't that he disliked his job, far from it. Being a systems engineer on Station Orion had its perks. The view of the nebulae from the observation deck was breathtaking, and the work itself was satisfying. But the solitude, that was harder. Humans thrived on company, and even the occasional messages from Earth crew members couldn't fill the hollow feeling of being truly alone. He rubbed his eyes and glanced at the clock. Midnight. The station was quiet now. Only the gentle hum of the life support systems and the occasional beep of a sensor broke the silence. Alex stood and stretched, walking toward the small window in his room. Beyond the reinforced glass, stars sparkled in the void, distant and cold, yet beautiful in a way that always made him pause. He loved space, yes, but he sometimes wished for someone to share it with, someone who could understand the awe he felt staring at infinity. A soft shimmer in the corner of the room caught his eye. He froze. The lights were off, nothing should have moved. Yet there, by the edge of his bed, stood a figure. A tall, slender being, not human, yet humanoid in shape. Its skin glowed faintly, like moonlight on water. Large, luminous eyes reflected the starlight from outside, and a cascade of silvery hair framed a face of delicate, almost otherworldly beauty. Alex's heart thumped in his chest. The being didn't speak. It simply stood there, gazing at him with an intensity that made him shiver. Slowly, Alex raised his hands in a gesture of peace. The figure tilted its head, studying him, curious but calm. Then, almost imperceptibly, it stepped closer, floating rather than walking. "Who are you?" Alex finally whispered. His voice sounded louder than he expected, echoing slightly in the quiet room. The alien didn't answer. Instead, it extended a hand, and a small, crystalline object hovered above its palm. Light danced across its facets, creating patterns on the walls. Alex stared, fascinated and confused. The object felt alive, pulsing with energy, yet it seemed safe, not dangerous. "Are you dangerous?" he asked cautiously, moving a bit closer. The being shook its head gently. The crystalline object floated closer to Alex. He reached out hesitantly, touching it. The moment his fingers brushed the surface, a wave of warmth and clarity surged through him. Images flashed in his mind, planets, stars, intricate circuits, strange creatures, but they were not frightening. Instead, they felt like a language without words, a story told through light and feeling. Alex blinked and looked up. The alien was smiling softly now, and a sound, gentle and musical, filled his mind. "Do not be afraid," the voice said, not aloud but in his thoughts. "I mean no harm." "Then why are you here?" he asked. His curiosity overcame his fear. The being didn't answer in words, but the crystal pulsed again, and a vision formed in his mind. A map of the station, then a series of symbols pointing toward systems and machinery. Alex gasped. It was showing him things, something about the station's systems. He could feel the alien's intention. It wanted him to understand, to see what it saw. He stepped back, still unsure. "Why me? Why here?" The alien floated closer, reaching out with a hand that shimmered like liquid silver. Alex felt an inexplicable trust, as if this visitor had known him for a long time, understood his loneliness, and recognized something in him no one else could. The being placed its hand near his chest, and for a moment Alex felt a warmth spread through his body, a sense of connection he couldn't explain. I don't understand," he whispered, his voice trembling slightly. "You will," the voice in his mind replied. "I have watched you for many cycles. You are special. Your mind, your heart, your spirit, they are rare. That is why I come." Alex's mind raced. Special, rare, he had always thought of himself as ordinary. Just another engineer doing the daily work of keeping a space station running. Nothing extraordinary. And yet, standing here with this alien being, he felt a strange certainty. There was truth in the words, even if he couldn't comprehend it fully yet. "Why now?" he asked. "Why appear to me tonight?" The alien's eyes glowed brighter, casting soft light across the room. "Because the moment is ready. We will speak when you are ready, and I will show you." Before Alex could respond, the being stepped backward, slowly, gracefully, as though it were fading. In the blink of an eye, it vanished. The room felt colder, emptier than before. The crystal lay on his desk, small and pulsing with light, a reminder that she had been there. Alex sat down, heart racing, staring at the crystal. He didn't sleep that night. Instead, he studied the object, tracing its patterns, feeling the subtle energy flowing through it. Something about it called to him, tugged at his mind and curiosity. He didn't know why, but he felt that this encounter was the beginning of something important. something that would change his life in ways he couldn't yet imagine. The next night, Alex found himself pacing his room, waiting. The station's corridors were quiet, and the hum of machinery seemed louder in contrast. Midnight came, and with it, the familiar shimmer at the corner of his room. The alien appeared again, as if she had never left. "Why are you here again?" Alex asked, unable to hide the excitement in his voice. Her eyes glowed softly, and once again the crystal hovered in her hand. But this time she moved closer and placed it on his desk. A sequence of holographic images emerged, scenes of distant worlds, cities built from light and energy, and strange creatures interacting with technology in ways Alex had never imagined. "You want me to learn from this?" he asked aloud. "Yes," she said in his mind. "There is much you do not know, yet much you can teach, too. Together we may understand." Alex felt a thrill he had never experienced before. Here was a being from beyond his world, not hostile, not indifferent, but interested in connection, in sharing knowledge. And somehow he knew he was being chosen for something larger than himself. Days passed, and the nightly visits continued. Each time, the alien brought new wonders. A tiny floating device that responded to thought. A glowing plant that grew instantly when touched. Symbols and patterns that revealed advanced mathematics and physics. Alex studied everything with feverish energy, realizing that humans' ability to think creatively and intuitively allowed him to grasp concepts that were alien even to her species. Yet, amidst all the wonder, there was mystery. The alien never explained who she was, where she came from, or why she needed him. Alex often lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if he imagined the events, if loneliness had made him see visions. But the crystal, the pulsing energy, the strange knowledge she shared, it was real. And each night, the presence of the alien filled a space in him he didn't know was empty. The need for connection, for understanding, for purpose. One night, as Alex reached for the crystal, she spoke in his mind, her voice gentle yet firm. "You are ready, Alex. Soon you will understand why I chose you. But first, you must trust yourself." "I trust myself," he replied, even as his mind raced with questions. "I want to understand." The alien's eyes softened. For a moment, the room glowed with a calm, serene light. Then, as always, she faded into the shadows, leaving Alex alone with the crystal and a sense of anticipation that stretched deep into his soul. Alex knew this was only the beginning. Something extraordinary was happening, and somehow he was at the center of it. He didn't know if it would bring danger, adventure, or revelation. But he knew one thing for certain. His life, quiet and ordinary until now, had changed forever. And somewhere in the depths of space, the alien waited, returning each night, watching, teaching, and connecting in ways no human could have imagined. And so, night after night, Alex stayed awake, waiting for her return, ready to meet the mysteries of the cosmos with courage, curiosity, and an open heart. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of the space station. Sunlight from the nearby star filtered through the observation window, painting golden lines across the floor. He rubbed his eyes, still carrying the vivid memory of the alien's visit the night before. It had been longer, more intense than any previous encounter. The crystal on his desk pulsed faintly, as if acknowledging his wakefulness. Alex reached for it automatically. The moment his fingers touched its smooth surface, a faint glow spread across the room. Patterns of light swirled, forming symbols he did not recognize, yet somehow understood. It was as though the crystal was trying to communicate with him in a language beyond words. He sat down and traced the patterns, his mind racing. He had spent years studying engineering and space technology, but these symbols, complex, precise, and yet alive, were something entirely new. As he stared, he felt a strange connection forming between him and the crystal. It was not merely an object. It was a key, a bridge between himself and something far greater than the station, far greater than Earth. Days passed, and Alex noticed changes he could not explain. His instruments began acting strangely, detecting energy fluctuations in areas that should have been inactive. The small plants he kept on his desk, meant only for decoration, started growing at an alarming rate. Their leaves shimmered faintly, and small buds appeared almost instantly, as if the alien's presence had awakened something in the very air of his room. At first, Alex wondered if he was imagining things. Long hours alone could make anyone see patterns where there were none. But the evidence was undeniable. His devices were responding differently. His plants were thriving beyond normal biological limits. and sometimes he felt as if the crystal itself was humming in tune with his heartbeat. One evening, while analyzing a data report in the station's lab, his monitor flickered, showing a series of strange signals. They were irregular, almost like a code, pulsing in patterns that resembled the symbols the crystal had shown him. Alex leaned closer. This isn't from the station," he whispered. "It's coming from outside." He accessed the external sensors, scanning the surrounding space. The signals were faint but persistent, emanating from the nearby nebula. They formed a repeating sequence, almost musical, a melody of energy and light that spoke directly to his mind. His heart raced. Was this the alien communicating again, or was there something more, something beyond even her knowledge? That night, as Alex returned to his room, he felt a familiar shimmer at the corner of his vision. The alien appeared, her glow brighter than before. She seemed impatient, almost excited. "Alex," she said, her voice echoing gently in his mind, "you are noticing the signals because you are ready to see more." "I see them," Alex replied, pointing to the pulsing patterns in the air. "But I don't understand. What are they?" "They are pieces of my world," she said. "I am showing you our technology, our knowledge. It is a language of energy, not words. You can comprehend it because your mind is capable of connection in ways others are not." Alex felt a mix of pride and awe. Humans were not the strongest, fastest, or most advanced species in the galaxy. Yet somehow, his curiosity, creativity, and intuition allowed him to perceive and understand things that were completely alien. She extended her hand, and another holographic display appeared above the crystal. This time, it showed star maps, planetary systems, and strange structures orbiting distant worlds. Alex studied them closely, noticing patterns and relationships that were astonishingly complex. "These are your people's future possibilities," the alien said, reading his thoughts. "Through understanding, you may guide them, but first you must learn." Alex nodded. He felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. This was no longer a matter of curiosity or wonder. Knowledge, power, and insight were being offered to him, but they came with a purpose he did not yet fully understand. The following days became a cycle of learning. Each night the alien appeared, bringing new artifacts and images. Sometimes she left small devices that seemed to respond to his thoughts, adjusting and reshaping themselves as he touched them. Other times, she created holographic puzzles, testing his ability to solve problems creatively. Alex discovered that the aliens' world was far beyond anything humans had imagined. Their cities were built not just of materials, but of energy itself. Their machines seemed alive, capable of adapting to any situation. Yet they were not perfect. Conflict existed, dangers lurked, and understanding their technology required patience, empathy, and creativity, the very qualities that made humans unique. One night, as Alex studied a floating device that pulsed with soft blue light, the alien spoke again. "Your people's strength is not in brute power. It is in your imagination, your ability to connect, to adapt. That is why I have come to you." Alex felt a thrill of excitement. He had always believed humans were capable of remarkable things. But hearing it from her, seeing it reflected in the alien's eyes, gave him a new sense of purpose. He realized that his species, often underestimated by others in the galaxy, could do incredible things when given the right tools and knowledge. But learning was not easy. The alien's lessons were challenging, designed to stretch his mind beyond its limits. One evening, she presented him with a complex energy puzzle, a floating lattice of glowing strands that shifted and changed as he touched them. He tried one approach, then another, but nothing worked. Frustration gnawed at him. "Do not fear failure," the alien said in his mind. "Failure is part of learning. Your people grow through trial and error. That is your strength. Keep trying." Alex took a deep breath, centering himself. Slowly, he began to understand the patterns, noticing relationships between the strands that were not obvious at first. Hours passed, but finally the lattice stabilized, glowing steadily in response to his touch. The alien's eyes shimmered with approval. "You see," she said, "your mind, your heart, your persistence, they are rare. That is why I am here." As the days passed, Alex began to notice something more subtle. He felt different, not just in mind, but in body. His senses seemed sharper. He could anticipate subtle changes in the station's systems before the alarms sounded. His intuition for solving technical problems improved dramatically, and somehow he felt more connected to the world around him, not just the station, but the universe itself. One night, he lay on his bed, staring at the crystal. "Why me?" he asked aloud, his voice barely a whisper. "Why choose me?" The alien appeared, floating near the ceiling, her glow gentle and soothing. "Because you are ready," she said. "Because your people have a gift, and because the universe has noticed. I am here to guide you, but also to learn from you. The connection between our worlds is rare, and it begins with understanding each other." Alex felt a shiver of awe. The idea that humans were special in the galaxy, that they could be recognized for their unique abilities, filled him with pride. And yet, it also filled him with questions. How many others were like him? How much of the universe had he yet to see? And most importantly, what would happen next? The next day, he noticed that the signals from the nebula were stronger, forming patterns that resembled a map. He followed the patterns in his mind, connecting the dots, realizing they pointed toward a cluster of nearby planets. His pulse quickened. The alien had not only brought knowledge, but also a path, a direction, a purpose. That night she appeared again, her form shimmering like liquid starlight. "You have noticed the signals," she said. "Soon you will understand their meaning. But first you must trust yourself. The universe is vast, and your people are just beginning to explore its potential." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of determination. He realized that these nightly visits were more than lessons. They were the beginning of a partnership, a connection between human and alien that could change both of their worlds. And so, night after night, Alex worked with the alien. He studied, experimented, and learned, discovering not only the wonders of her species, but also the strength and creativity within himself. Each success brought him closer to understanding the signals, the crystal, and the alien's true purpose. The crystal pulsed gently on his desk, a reminder of the bond forming between them. The alien's visits became a constant presence in his life, a source of wonder and challenge. And in the quiet moments, when he gazed at the stars beyond the station's windows, he felt the thrill of possibility, the knowledge that humans, even one human, could stand alongside the greatest beings in the galaxy and make a difference. Alex understood one thing clearly: his life had changed forever. The alien had chosen him for a reason, and he would rise to meet whatever lay ahead. The signals, the crystal, the lessons, they were all part of a larger plan. And he was ready to follow it, step by step, light by light, into the unknown reaches of space. The station was unusually quiet that night. Alex sat at his desk, staring at the crystal, its faint glow casting shifting patterns across the room. He had spent the last few nights studying the symbols and signals the alien had shown him. Each discovery, each pattern, had made him feel more connected, not just to her, but to something much larger than himself. A sudden shimmer in the corner made him freeze. She appeared, as always, moving with a fluid grace that seemed to defy gravity. But tonight, her glow was stronger, more vibrant. Her eyes locked onto his, and Alex felt an intensity he hadn't noticed before. "Alex," she said in his mind, her voice clear and melodic, "you are ready." He swallowed nervously. "Ready for what?" She floated closer, her hand extending toward him, though she did not touch. The crystal pulsed in response, brighter than ever. "It is time you understand why I have come to you. You are not just a student of knowledge, you are chosen." Alex blinked. "Chosen? Chosen for what?" The alien's gaze softened. "For a bond, a connection that is rare among my people. You possess qualities that few others do. Courage, curiosity, empathy, and ingenuity. These traits make you exceptional. That is why I have come to you." Alex's mind raced. "A bond? What kind of bond?" She hesitated, then continued. "In my species, we select mates. Not merely for companionship, but for sharing life, knowledge, and energy. The bond allows us to connect deeply, to grow together, and to face challenges no one could face alone. I have chosen you because you are worthy." Alex's heart thumped. The word mate carried weight, but he focused on the meaning she described. This was not about romance alone. It was about partnership, trust, and shared purpose. Humans had always valued connection, but he never imagined that his species' traits would be recognized by an alien civilization. I don't understand," he admitted. "Why me? I'm just human." "You are human, yes," she said, her voice gentle. "And that is why you are extraordinary. Your creativity, your adaptability, your ability to persevere, these are qualities my species does not possess fully. Your kind can see solutions where others see walls. You are rare, Alex, and that rarity is precious." Alex leaned back, trying to absorb the revelation. For years, humans had been explorers, inventors, and problem solvers. Yet in the vast galaxy, they were often overlooked, seen as fragile and limited. And now an alien being told him he was valued not for strength or speed, but for something uniquely human. "I don't know what to say," he whispered. "You do not need to speak," she replied. "You only need to understand and to trust yourself." For a long moment they simply floated there, the crystal's soft glow filling the room. Then she gestured toward it. The light shifted, forming a holographic display of their star system, with lines connecting planets, moons, and space stations. Symbols appeared along the lines, representing energy, communication, and life. "These are the threads of connection," she explained. "Your world is not isolated. It is part of a larger network of life, of energy, of knowledge. And through our bond, you will help strengthen these threads, guiding your people and connecting them with the greater universe." Alex stared in awe. The responsibility was immense. Humans had always dreamed of reaching the stars, but he had never imagined being a link between worlds, chosen to bridge the gap between species. Yet a quiet sense of determination settled within him. He was ready to rise to the challenge. Is this permanent?" he asked cautiously. "The bond," she said, "cannot be broken lightly. It requires trust, respect, and understanding. But it is not a chain. It is a connection that allows both of us to grow. You will gain knowledge, insight, and abilities that your people have not yet realized. And I will gain understanding of your kind, which is rare and precious." Alex nodded slowly. He felt a warmth spreading through him, an energy that seemed to link him to the alien and the crystal. He realized that this was not simply about being chosen. It was about joining forces, combining strengths across worlds to achieve what neither could accomplish alone. Over the following days, the alien's lessons became more intense. She guided him through complex systems, teaching him to manipulate energy in ways he had never imagined. Holographic constructs floated in his room, showing intricate structures that defied conventional physics. Alex learned to think beyond traditional engineering, to imagine solutions that were intuitive, creative, and adaptive. One evening, she presented a new challenge, a malfunctioning section of the station's power grid. It had been offline for weeks, and repair drones had failed repeatedly. Alex approached it with cautious optimism. "You must trust your instincts," she said. "Use what you have learned and do not fear failure." Alex studied the grid, noticing subtle patterns in the energy flow. Humans were not the strongest species, nor did they have the fastest reflexes, but they excelled at problem-solving, creativity, and perseverance. Slowly, he began to manipulate the system, redirecting energy along unconventional paths. The lights flickered, then stabilized. The station hummed with renewed power. The alien's eyes glowed with approval. "You see, Alex, your people's strength lies not in physical power, but in ingenuity and persistence. That is why you were chosen. That is why this bond matters." Alex felt pride swelling within him. Humans had always been underestimated in the galaxy, often seen as fragile and ordinary. Yet here he was, demonstrating qualities that even a superior species valued. For the first time, he truly understood that humanity's uniqueness was not in strength alone, but in creativity, adaptability, and heart. But it was not only technical challenges that tested him. The alien began to explore emotional and psychological connections as well. She shared visions of her world, showing the struggles and triumphs of her people. She encouraged Alex to empathize, to consider perspectives beyond his own. "You must learn to understand others," she said, "not just with your mind, but with your heart. Connection is not merely knowledge. It is trust, compassion, and willingness to act for the greater good." Alex realized the lessons were deeper than he had imagined. They were not just about repairing systems or understanding technology. They were about growth, responsibility, and the potential for humans to stand as equals in the cosmos. One night, as Alex lay on his bed, the alien appeared with a small, floating device that pulsed with soft light. "This is a gift," she said. "It is part of our technology, but it is also part of our connection. It will respond to your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions. It is a symbol of trust and of the bond we are forming." Alex reached out, feeling a thrill of anticipation. As his fingers touched the device, a surge of energy flowed through him. Images, knowledge, and understanding filled his mind, not overwhelming but enlightening. He saw star maps, scientific principles, and glimpses of alien culture. Yet, interwoven with the information, he felt the alien's intention, a deep desire for connection, trust, and partnership. "You see," she said softly in his mind, "our bond is not about domination nor about obedience. It is about cooperation, respect, and mutual growth. You are not merely learning, you are participating, contributing, and shaping the path forward." Alex felt a profound sense of purpose. He realized that humans, though often underestimated, had qualities that could influence the galaxy. Creativity, empathy, courage, these were not weaknesses but extraordinary gifts. And now, through this bond, he could explore their potential like never before. In the days that followed, the bond deepened. Alex's intuition and skills grew, guided by the alien's presence. He solved technical problems, understood complex energy patterns, and even began to predict outcomes based on subtle cues. The alien watched, offering guidance but never dictating. She encouraged him to trust his instincts, to explore, and to learn through action. One night, as he studied the crystal, she spoke in a tone that carried both gravity and warmth. "Soon, Alex, you will face choices. The bond will be tested. You must decide not just for yourself, but for your people. Trust what you have learned and trust your humanity." "It is your greatest strength?" Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and responsibility. He understood that the path ahead would not be easy. Challenges awaited not just in the station, but beyond in the far reaches of space. And yet he felt ready. He had been chosen for a reason, and he would rise to meet whatever lay ahead, guided by knowledge, courage, and the uniquely human qualities that had drawn the alien to him in the first place. As he looked at the stars outside his window, Alex realized something profound. He was no longer alone. He had an ally, a guide, and a connection that transcended species. And in that bond, he found not only knowledge and power, but also hope, purpose, and the promise of a future where humans could stand alongside the greatest beings in the galaxy. The night passed, quiet and calm, but filled with possibility. Alex knew that the revelations of this chapter of his life were only the beginning. The alien had chosen him, the bond had begun, and the universe awaited the impact of a human mind and heart capable of extraordinary things. Alex had grown accustomed to the nightly visits of the alien, yet tonight felt different. The station hummed as usual, but there was a tension in the air, a quiet anticipation that made his pulse quicken. He had studied her lessons, solved the energy puzzles, and begun to understand the alien's technology. But now, it seemed, she had something more in mind, something that would test not only his mind, but his courage, creativity, and resilience. As midnight approached, a shimmer appeared in the corner of his room. The alien floated in, her luminous skin casting a soft glow across the walls. Her eyes held a seriousness Alex had not seen before. "Alex," she said gently, her voice resonating in his mind, "tonight is different. You have learned much, but learning alone is not enough. To strengthen our bond, you must face trials. They are designed to test your abilities, your courage, and your humanity." Alex swallowed nervously. "Trials? What kind of trials?" "Challenges that require thought, action, and heart," she replied. "You will face problems that no ordinary being could solve, but you are not ordinary." Before he could ask more, a holographic map appeared above the crystal. It depicted the space station, but sections of it were highlighted in red. Small drones floated in the display, and energy fields pulsed around key areas. "This," she explained, "is a simulation, but the danger is real. You will need to repair the damaged systems, navigate obstacles, and think creatively. Failure will not harm you physically, but it will teach lessons. The bond grows stronger when you rise to challenges." Alex nodded. He had faced technical problems before, but never like this. The simulation felt alive, unpredictable. It required him to combine logic, intuition, and improvisation, the very skills that made humans adaptable. The first challenge appeared immediately. A section of the station's power grid had failed. Drones patrolled the corridors, and energy pulses threatened to overload the systems. Alex ran to the control panel, analyzing the readings. The problem was complex, with multiple failures cascading into one another. He paused, taking a deep breath. He remembered the alien's words. Humans excel when they think creatively and adapt. Not all solutions were obvious. With careful observation, he identified an alternative path for the energy flow, redirecting power to stabilize the system. Sparks flew as the lights flickered, but slowly the grid hummed steadily. The alien's eyes glowed with approval. "Well done," she said. "You see, Alex, you are capable of seeing solutions others cannot. That is your strength." Next, the simulation shifted. A section of the station's hull appeared to be breached, with vacuum pulling at the edges. Alex had only seconds to act. He noticed that the emergency airlocks could be manipulated remotely, but the controls were damaged. He had to think quickly, using limited resources to seal the breach. Using a combination of manual overrides and rerouted power, Alex managed to stabilize the hull. The simulation's danger subsided, and the alien's eyes sparkled with satisfaction. "You are learning not only to survive, but to thrive," she said. "Your mind adapts, your courage strengthens. That is why humans are unique." As the trials continued, Alex faced increasingly complex challenges. One test required him to navigate a maze of energy fields that shifted unpredictably, using both intuition and logic to avoid triggering alarms. Another involved repairing a network of communication relays while drones monitored his every move. Through it all, the alien guided him subtly, offering hints but never solving the problems for him. Alex realized that this was not just about his abilities. It was about trust, resilience, and the bond they were forming. During a brief pause between trials, Alex sat on a bench, catching his breath. "Why me?" he asked aloud. "Why humans? Why not someone else?" The alien appeared beside him, her glow calming. "Because your species possesses qualities that are rare in the galaxy. You are adaptable, creative, and persistent. You can connect with others, empathize, and solve problems in ways that machines or even my species cannot. That is why you were chosen." Alex nodded, understanding more clearly now. The trials were not just tests. They were a way to awaken his potential, to show him what humans could achieve when they combined intelligence, intuition, and heart. The final trial arrived as the simulation intensified. A section of the station systems was on the verge of total failure. Energy surges threatened to destroy the station, and emergency protocols had failed. Alex had only minutes to act. He took a deep breath and surveyed the situation. The drones were in patterns he had seen before, but this time they were faster, more unpredictable. The energy surges were erratic, and the communication lines were jammed. Every instinct he had learned from the alien, every lesson from the previous nights, came into play. Alex moved quickly, rerouting energy flows, overriding damaged circuits, and using his intuition to anticipate the drone's movements. Sparks flew and alarms blared, but he did not hesitate. Step by step, he restored stability, his mind and hands working in perfect harmony. Finally, the system stabilized. The simulation ended and the alien's glow filled the room. "You have succeeded, Alex," she said, her voice proud. "You have demonstrated courage, ingenuity, and compassion. You have passed the trials." Alex slumped into his chair, exhausted but exhilarated. He had faced challenges that tested every skill and instinct he possessed. And through it all, he had relied on the qualities that made him human: creativity, adaptability, and resilience. The alien floated closer, her eyes meeting his. "Do you understand now?" she asked. "Yes," Alex replied. "Humans are capable of more than we think. We can adapt, solve problems, and face challenges that seem impossible." "Exactly," she said. "That is why the bond is important. Together we can achieve things that neither of us could accomplish alone. Your people's uniqueness is precious. It is a gift to the galaxy." Alex smiled, a deep sense of pride filling him. He had always known humans were capable, but now he understood the truth on a personal level. Through the trials, he had discovered his own strengths and the value of human ingenuity. The alien extended her hand, and the crystal on his desk pulsed brightly. "The bond grows stronger with every trial. You are ready for what comes next, but remember, trust, courage, and creativity will guide you, and you are never alone." Alex reached out and touched her hand, feeling a surge of warmth and energy. In that moment, he felt connected, not only to her, but to something far greater than himself. The trials had tested him, pushed him to his limits, and shown him the potential that lay within humanity. For the first time, he realized that the aliens' visits were not just lessons. They were a partnership, a bond that could shape the future. And with that bond, humans could stand as equals among the stars, using their creativity, courage, and heart to explore, discover, and protect the galaxy. As the night drew to a close, Alex looked out the window at the endless expanse of space. Stars twinkled like distant beacons, each one a possibility, a challenge, or a connection waiting to be made. He felt ready, more prepared than ever to face whatever came next. The alien's presence remained beside him, silent but reassuring. Together, they had begun a journey that would test them both, reveal their strengths, and forge a bond that transcended worlds. And Alex knew with certainty that humans, his species, were capable of greatness far beyond what he had ever imagined. The trials had ended, but the adventure was only beginning. Alex woke to the soft hum of the space station, his mind still racing from the trials he had faced. The lessons, the challenges, and the late-night guidance from the alien had changed him. He no longer felt like the quiet engineer who spent his days repairing circuits and monitoring systems. Now, he carried a sense of purpose, a connection to something far larger than himself. As he prepared for his day, a shimmer in the corner of his room caught his attention. The alien appeared, her luminous form radiating warmth and energy. Tonight there was no hesitation, no mystery. Her presence was calm, confident, and filled with purpose. "Alex," she said in his mind, her voice both gentle and commanding, "the time has come. You have learned, you have grown, and you have proven your worth. Now you will see the full purpose of our connection." Alex swallowed. "Purpose? What do you mean?" She gestured to the crystal on his desk. Light spilled from it, forming a three-dimensional projection of her world. Cities of energy and light floated above alien landscapes, structures that seemed alive and responsive. Strange creatures moved through the streets, interacting with machines in ways Alex had only begun to understand. "This is my home," she said, "and now you will see why your presence matters. My people have watched your species for many cycles. Humans are not the strongest nor the fastest, yet your creativity, empathy, and resilience make you extraordinary. That is why I chose you." Alex's heart pounded. "Me, why not someone else?" "Because you have the qualities we value most," she replied. "You see solutions where others see walls. You understand others not just logically but emotionally. You persevere when others would give up. That is why our bond is possible and why it is powerful." The projection shifted, showing the vast reaches of space. Lines of light connected planets, moons, and stars, illustrating networks of energy, communication, and life. One line, bright and steady, led directly to Earth. Alex's pulse quickened. "This," she said, "is why you are here. You will act as a bridge between our worlds. You will guide your people, share knowledge, and help us understand each other. Together, humans and my species can achieve what neither could alone." Alex felt awe and responsibility wash over him. The journey had been extraordinary, but now the stakes were clear. He was not just learning or growing, he was part of a plan that could shape the future of two civilizations. "Where do we start?" he asked, determined. The alien extended her hand, and the crystal floated between them, pulsing with soft light. "First, you must bond fully. This is not just a connection of knowledge, but of trust and energy. It will enhance your abilities and link your mind and heart with mine. Are you ready?" Alex nodded. "I am ready." The moment his fingers brushed the crystal, a surge of warmth and understanding flowed through him. Images and information filled his mind, not overwhelming but enlightening. He saw advanced science, alien culture, and glimpses of possibilities for Earth. But he also felt something deeper, empathy, trust, and a sense of shared purpose with the alien. "You feel it?" she asked. "The bond is complete." Alex took a deep breath. "I feel connected, stronger, I can understand more." "Good," she said. "Now we begin our work." Their first mission came immediately. A nearby asteroid field was on a collision course with an uninhabited planet, threatening to destabilize its orbit. While no humans lived there, the planet was part of a delicate energy network that sustained life on nearby worlds. The alien guided Alex to the station's observation deck, where the crystal projected the asteroid field in 3 dimensions. "Humans are not naturally equipped to navigate such dangers," she explained, "but your mind can perceive solutions that others overlook. You will guide the course corrections needed to prevent disaster." Alex studied the projections, noting the paths of each asteroid. They moved unpredictably, influenced by gravitational fields and hidden energy streams. He realized that conventional calculations would fail. He needed intuition, creativity, and timing. Drawing on everything he had learned, Alex began to calculate adjustments, rerouting energy flows through the station's systems to create subtle gravitational shifts. He worked quickly, guided by the alien's presence and the crystal's feedback. Hours passed, and the tension in the room was almost unbearable. But slowly, the asteroid's paths began to shift, bending away from the planet's orbit. Finally, with a final surge of energy, the largest asteroid was redirected safely into open space. The danger was averted. The alien's glow brightened. "You see, Alex, your people's ingenuity is unmatched. You combined knowledge, intuition, and courage to solve what seemed impossible. That is why humans are remarkable." Alex exhaled, feeling exhilaration and pride. He had faced impossible odds and succeeded. Yet more importantly, he realized that the alien had chosen not just a mate, but a partner, someone who could think, adapt, and act in ways that machines or her species alone could not. Over the following cycles, Alex continued to work with the alien. Together, they repaired unstable systems, navigated treacherous sectors of space, and shared knowledge between worlds. Each success strengthened their bond, deepening their understanding of each other and of the galaxy. One evening, as they watched a distant nebula from the station's observation deck, the alien spoke softly. "Alex, you have done well. You have proven that humans are capable of greatness. But the true test is not only skill or knowledge, it is how you use them. You must act with wisdom, compassion, and courage. That is what will shape the future." Alex nodded. "I understand. Humans have strengths that others might overlook, but we also have responsibility. We must use our gifts carefully." "Exactly," she said. "And together we can guide your people to realize their potential. We can create a bridge between worlds, a new alliance built on trust, understanding, and shared purpose." Alex smiled. He felt a sense of hope and determination unlike anything he had known. For the first time, he understood that humanity's uniqueness was not a weakness. It was a gift. And through the bond, he could use that gift to make a difference in the galaxy. Days turned into cycles, and Alex became a key figure in interstellar collaboration. He communicated with Earth, sharing insights from the aliens' technology and philosophy. Humans began to develop new systems, energy sources, and methods of exploration that were guided by creativity, empathy, and ingenuity. The alien watched with quiet pride, her bond with Alex strengthening with every step. Together, they showed that even in a universe filled with advanced civilizations, humanity's qualities, courage, imagination, and heart, could stand out, inspire, and lead. One night, as Alex gazed at the stars, he reflected on the journey that had brought him here. From the first mysterious visit to the trials that tested his mind and spirit, to the full bond that connected him with the alien, every step had shaped him. He realized that humans were not ordinary. They were capable of extraordinary achievements, especially when they worked together with others across worlds and species. "You have grown, Alex," the alien said, her presence beside him comforting and radiant. "You are more than a student or a mate. You are a partner, a bridge, and a symbol of what humans can achieve." Alex smiled. "I understand now, and I am ready to face whatever comes next, ready to help my people, and ready to explore the universe with you." She extended her hand, and together they looked out at the stars. Endless possibilities stretched before them, new worlds to explore, mysteries to solve, and connections to build. Alex felt a surge of excitement, courage, and determination. He knew that humans had a unique place in the cosmos, and through the bond, he could help ensure that humanity's light would shine far and wide. The station hummed quietly around them, a small outpost in the vast universe. Yet within its walls, a powerful partnership had formed, one that combined human ingenuity, courage, and heart with alien wisdom and technology. Together, they would explore, protect, and shape the galaxy, proving that humanity, even in its humility, could reach greatness. And as the first light of a distant star touched the station's windows, Alex felt a profound sense of purpose. He was no longer just a human on a space station. He was a bridge, a partner, and a part of something far larger than himself. The alien's glow shimmered beside him, a reminder that he was never alone. Together, they would face the unknown, solve the impossible, and show the universe that humanity's heart, mind, and spirit were gifts unlike any other. And so the journey continued, not as a story of one human, but as a tale of connection, growth, and the limitless potential of humanity among the stars.